What is going on, Misfit Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, behind the mic, Matt the Misfit. This is your AEW Dynamite and NXT review for October the 10th, 2023. Man, I thought I was never going to have to do this again, but I did. Tonight, watched both NXT and AEW shows I thought were actually really, really good. NXT stacked their show up with, obviously, John Cena, the appearance of The Undertaker, Cody Rhodes, Paul Heyman, Asuka, all that stuff. You also had two title changes on AEW Dynamite. Orange Cassidy is the new AEW All-Elite International Champion, and Hikaru Shida is finally another champion again. 3 times the charm. She did it. The first ever 3-time champion in not WWE. Sorry. First ever AEW 3-time champion. Hikaru Shida. All that good stuff. We're going to talk about that much, much more. If you like what you see here, hit that like button. Comment down below. Hit that subscribe button. YouTube.com/@MisfitWrestlingPodcast. Follow the social media. Pile Driver Pulse on Twitter. Misfit Wrestling Pod on Instagram. You can also follow the other audio outlets, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, forever. How long Stitcher's going to be here? Who knows? Audible and Pandora. Thank God I didn't change my banner because Shida as champion is the right thing to do. Speaking of Shida as champion, we're going to start first off with not NXT, AEW. We'll save NXT for last because I normally would review AEW during the week. So we're going to start with AEW Dynamite. AEW Dynamite started off with the Bryan Danielson and it started off on the quote unquote buy-in on YouTube. Eddie Kingston defending the Ring of Honor Championship and the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship against Minoru Suzuki. This match is going back and forth here. Neither man flinched or moved or moving from corner to corner. Kingston takes the straps down from his singlet. They go back and forth with some knife-edge chops. Kingston holds his own in the chop battle, but is staggered by Suzuki strikes. The two begin trading forearms back and forth. Suzuki knocks Kingston out with an elbow because Suzuki continues to daze Eddie Kingston with some elbows. Suzuki locks in an armbar, manipulates Eddie Kingston's wrist and fingers. Kingston begins to fight until start to fight back. At some point, Kingston gets out his feet. The two men trade more strikes. Kingston is getting worn out. Suzuki seemingly gains the strength from the damage here. Suzuki unleashes a fury of strikes. Kingston falls to the canvas. Suzuki locks in the stretch plum. Kingston tries to fight out of it. Suzuki transitions into a bulldog choke. Kingston struggles to get to his feet. Kingston counters the Gotch pile driver to hit a spinning back fist for a near fall. Kingston hits another spinning back fist for another near fall. Kingston hits a third spinning back fist, but he tries to hit another spinning back fist. Suzuki ducks, hits a back fist immediately, run to another by Kingston. Kingston hits his enziguri. Kingston then hits the Northern Lights bomb for the 10. 1, 2, 3. 10 minutes and 38 seconds. Fun little matches to get the crowd going for the start of the show here on the buy-in. A match that was announced late in the show. Not late in the show, late in the night, last night during, last hour or so of Monday Night Raw. So, a very, very good stuff there from Eddie Kingston and Minoru Suzuki. Obviously, Minoru Suzuki, wondering why he's there. Well, he's in the States right now. He's going to be at House of Glory, I think, on Friday. So he's already in the States, so you might as well just put him on AEW Dynamite anytime you can here. So there's that. There's some news on New Japan Pro Wrestling. Speaking of which, they did announce this morning. And next year we will be doing Historic Crossover 2 next year. I will talk about more about that on the Pile Driver Pulse on Sunday, because there were some very good, some good notes coming out of that joint strategy press conference there for Stardom and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Then we kicked off the main part of the card here. Beforehand, we found out that Jon Moxley still not has been medically cleared for his scheduled match against Rey Fenix. So Hook comes in and says, well, Orange Cassidy should be Moxley's replacement. Khan asked Cassidy if he liked the match. Cassidy said he sure, and wishes Khan with a happy birthday. So whatever that is here. We kicked off the night with an amazing, excellent opening matchup between Bryan Danielson and Swerve Strickland, the number one contender spot for the TNT Championship. This was a lot of fun here. So the two lock up here at one point. Swerve at some point in the match here locks in crossface chicken wing. Bryan was able to get out of it. Swerve blocks a kick and then counters with a unique back suplex backbreaker. Swerve climbs to the top rope here. Danielson gets up on his knees, blocks the 450 splash, or gets his knees up rather, and blocks a 450 splash. Swerve retreats ringside. Danielson hits the running knee straight from the apron to the floor. Back of the ring now. Swerve goes for a diving foot stomp, but Danielson counters with a single leg Boston Crab. Danielson transitions into a heel hook. Swerve gets to the ropes. Danielson climbs to the top rope. Swerve immediately attempts to block. Danielson counters a superplex, hits an avalanche back suplex. Danielson recovers, then begins kicking Swerve in the head with his famous kicks. His stomp kicks is what he does into the head, where he's going to cave his effing head in, is what he calls it. Swerve begins to recover. Danielson puts him back down with series of knees. Danielson transitions to the label lock. Danielson transitions into the armbar, but Swerve gets to the ropes again. Swerve continues running counters a running drop kick, hits the house call, climbs to the top rope, hits the diving double stomp, covers for a near fall. Swerve then hits the alley-oop driver for a near fall. Prince Nana tries to distract the referee. Swerve grabs Nana's crown. Hangman Page comes out of nowhere, grabs the crown from Swerve from him from able to use it here. Danielson to get ready to hit the Psycho knee. He ducks in for a JML driver with a roll up for a near fall. Danielson hits the Psycho knee kick finally for the win and the 3 count. 16 minutes and 3 seconds. This match was 4 out of 5. Excuse me. Excellent match here. And it will be Bryan Danielson versus Christian Cage on not Dynamite. This is Dynamite. What's the Saturday Collision? I can remember the name of the fucking show. Then we had a video package. Well, before I finish that, I'm glad they're finishing the storyline with Swerve and Hangman. So when their next match is going to be very, very good, because I enjoyed their first match was excellent. So I'm pretty sure this last match, the next one is going to be excellent here. We found a video package here with Samoa Joe says that he will be at AEW Collision on Saturday and will show fans why he deserves to be the champion, because he seems to not be done with MJF and the AEW World Championship, which is good. Keep Samoa Joe around that title picture as much as you can so he can still stay relevant here. First shocker of the night here. Powerhouse Hobbs squashes Chris Jericho. Yes, you heard me correctly. Chris Jericho got squashed in over 7 minutes and 23 seconds, the shortest match of Chris Jericho's AEW career. The world's strongest slam gets hit, and 1, 2, 3. It's over for Jericho. Jericho let me see if I can find what Jericho's done this year, because I seen a tweet about it here. So get this out, right? So Chris Jericho this year has laid down for Powerhouse Hobbs, Sammy Guevara, Will Ospreay, Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, Ricky Starks this year. That is incredible. That's big. So, like, I'm actually okay with that, and I am perfectly fine with Jericho losing, because that's what needs to be happening here. Nice to see Powerhouse Hobbs getting some wins here. So that is good to see here. After the match, Don Callis raised Hobbs' hands, delivers another World's Strongest Slam to Chris Jericho. Hobbs and Callis exit the ring. We go to a video package. This is going to be a few of them. Apparently, they filmed a lot of these before Adam Cole gets his surgery. We got Roderick Strong's house. I love that he's still in the nightgown with the neck brace on, which I think is pretty funny. There was somebody in the crowd with the neck brace on and I think he was trying to do his best. Roderick Strong there, which I think is pretty funny here. Strong makes the injured Adam Cole cut his grass. Roddy and the Kingdom nitpick the work that the hobbled Adam Cole does. Cole is forced to wear our next Strong shirt. I swear to God, I thought that's why I wrote down a neck brace. Helping something there. I think it's weird that Strong has no internet or TV. Strong says TV is the devil, which is okay. Cole leaves to go get surgery, but Strong says he needs to stay for one more thing and cuts to black hair. Orange Cassidy, Ray Phoenix. So this was actually really short here. 4 minutes and 38 seconds. This really didn't do much here. Phoenix counters an orange punch with a super kick. Orange Cassidy takes advantage with a slip up, hits the beach break for a near fall. Cassidy hits the orange punch. Cassidy uses the mouse trap for the pin. And we have a new AEW International Champion, the first ever 2-time International Champion in Orange Cassidy. So it makes me wonder, what was the original plan? Was this going to go back to Orange Cassidy to begin with? Who knows? All I know is Jon Moxley was never supposed to lose that title 2 weeks ago. Or was it 3 weeks ago? It was one of those two, but who knows there. And confetti there happens. Interesting enough here. So Hook, Truck Taylor, and Trent and Rocky Moreau meet him out to the ring to celebrate, but he kind of walked past them. It was very interesting there. RJ City is interviewing Tony Storm. I didn't get to see the majority of these vignettes because TBS fucking sucks with their ad breaks. So I can't really comment on that. I'm going to have to go back and watch those. And I will let you guys know about what I think about those on Sunday. So Wardlow's making his entrance to the ring, and he just wins with a shit ton of power bombs. 47 seconds, beats Seidel. That was it. Daniel Garcia checks on an injured Chris Jericho, much to the chagrin of Matt Menard. That was there. Hangman Page, Switchblade Jay White. This match was fine, pretty good, but it was a little too long in my opinion here. At one point, Jay White continued to attack the leg he worked on early on in the match. Hits a sleeper suplex. Page recovers. It's a clothesline. Page rolls out on the apron and goes for the buckshot lariat, but limps. Jay White goes for Blade Runner, but Page counters with a dead eye. Bullet Club Gold distracts the referee. Page covers for the near fall. Referee fights with Bullet Club Gold as Prince Nana sneaks down to ringside. Page stops Nana from using the crown. Jay White rolls up Page for a pinfall attempt for the pin. And the win, 18 minutes and 18 seconds. This was all right. Nothing too big here happens here. I don't know if I feel comfortable talking about this segment here. with MJF here. Like, the Jewish thing, throwing quarters at the Jew. Come on now, come on, Tony Khan, do better. I'm not even gonna spend my time talking about that particular part of the segment because it just that was a bad taste in my mouth there. So there's that. So by the way, if I don't mention the Tony Storm stuff throughout the show, it's because of that. The reason that I mentioned earlier, I can't because they didn't talk about it very much here, or I didn't get to see it because of the fucking picture-to-picture stuff here. AEW Women's Championship. This match was fine for what it was. This may have been Saraya's best match in AEW because Shida is not just that good. Hikaru Shida wins the AEW Championship, becomes a 3-time women's champion. Shida was able to come back here. Shida hits a big running knee out of nowhere. Shida mounts and pummels Saraya in the corner. Shida hits a missile drop kick from the top rope for a near fall. Saraya shoots the apron. Saraya pulls Shida off the top rope, slams Shida's back on the apron. Shida was able to get back with a German suplex on the ring apron. So probably Tony Khan saw that video of AI Shawn Michaels saying, you know, your NXT champ or your women's champion can't even take a German suplex. And she did tonight. It was shitty looking, but she still took one. Shida hit the Meteor off the top rope, or off the apron rather. Shida gets Saraya back in the ring, hits the running knee for a near fall. She hits the question mark kick, climbs to the top rope. Shuri. What am I talking about here? Saraya blocks a dive with a kick, hits the nightcap for a near fall. Saraya grabs the kendo stick, but the referee stops her. Saraya sprays Shida with the spray paint, hits the nightcap again for the near fall. Shida hits the Falcon Arrow. They trade roll-ups, and Shida gets the pinfall. 1, 2, 3, 11 minutes and 17 seconds. 3 stars. 4 stars because Shida won. 5 stars because Shida won. 3 stars for the actual match. I also forgot to mention here, Ruby Soho came out looking like a burglar with a spray can. Tony Storm came out with the shoe. And she just basically, remember, watch out for the shoe. She beat the shit out of Ruby Soho with the shoe, which I thought was pretty funny. Excalibur announces that Chris Jericho suffered internal injuries against Powerhouse Hobbs and went to the hospital. Tony Schiavone announced that AEW was donating $1 million worth of toys to Toys for Tots for Christmas. Nice gesture there. Backstage, Don Callis, which they did this whole thing with picture in the picture, but apparently there was someone jotted down the most of it for people who didn't watch it. A picture because TBS sucks. Don Callis had draws a painting of Kenta. Or not Kenta. Kenny Omega getting I was thinking of Kenta because Kenta was tweeting about the GTS thing last night. Kenny Omega getting stabbed, and says that Powerhouse Hobbs destroyed Omega and Jericho. Callis says that his revenge is far from over, and Sammy Guevara will be back. Whatever. MJF says he's not in the mood to be interviewed, calls Adam Cole, and he gets through. That Cole says he's stuck at Roddy's, the connection cuts out. Billy Gunn and the Acclaim says that they'll have MJF's backing against Bullet Club Gold. MJF doesn't respond. He walks away. Billy Gunn asks the questions Matt Caster's offer when can Max Caster offer up the surfaces of the Acclaim. Caster explains that MJF is a friend and he thinks he needs his help. Main event time. Christian Cage comes out first to, talk about everybody's fathers here. So Christian says that Edge was wrong about Nick Wayne and Luchasaurus' loyalty. Says that Edge wishes to end their careers together. Rings hollow because Edge left Christian when he became a main eventer. Christian said that Edge. By the way, if you didn't know, I'm not going to call him Adam Copeland. I am calling him Edge for the foreseeable future. So, he says the Edge is on a downward slope. Says that he appreciates Copeland for being a fan. I said it again, for being Edge, for being a fan of his, and he knows the best Phoenix is a big fan of his as well. Says that Christian says that he'll take good care of Edge's children after Luchasaurus murders him in the ring. Christian tells Beth to put fresh sheets on the bed because your new father is coming home. Because Christian Cage is that motherfucker. Edge's music hits. He comes out. Nick Wayne holds Edge's leg. Luchasaurus strikes. Luchasaurus hits Edge with an exploding extinction lariat. Edge then appears too hurt to compete from the lariat and to the back of the head. Edge struggles to get to his feet, but decides to fight with the pain. And the bell rings, and we get the main event: Luchasaurus versus Edge. Basically, what happened here: Luchasaurus dislodges the ring steps. Edge fights a chokeslam attempt, takes out Luchasaurus with the knee. Edge hits a diving DDT from the ring apron. Back in the ring now, Edge hits a diving crossbody back to Luchasaurus. Edge counters a chokeslam attempt with an impaler DDT for a near fall. Luchasaurus tries for a suplex onto the steel steps, but Edge was able to fight back. Edge hits a superplex in the ring. Christian comes down to the ring to distract the referee. Nick Wayne rides a chair in between in the corner here. Edge goes heads first into the chair, gets a choke slam by Luchasaurus for a near fall. The double big boot. Both men go down. Luchasaurus goes to the outside. Edge hits a running spear to the outside here. They get back in the ring. Edge sets up for the spear. Edge stops Christian from using the title. Hits Luchasaurus with it. Nick Wayne gets knocked off the apron. Christian gets his title back, or has his title back, and Luchasaurus thanks Christian as hit him with the title. Copeland, Edge capitalizes on the confusion, hits the spear 1, 2, 3, 15 minutes and 31 seconds for Edge's debut. It was fine. Like most matches over there, not as good as Edge's last match with Sheamus, but it was still good for what it was here. After the match, Nick Wayne attacks Edge. Edge gets beaten down. Bryan Danielson then runs down to the ring to make the save here because they were the main event of WrestleMania 3 years ago rather. That was 2 years ago. Cage beats Christian Cage and starts beating down Luchasaurus and Christian start beating down Bryan Danielson. Blackpool Combat Club runs out to even the odds. Mogul Embassy joins the brawl. Hangman Page then comes out to join the brawl. In the brawl, Christian submits the Blue Bell Lock as AEW Dynamite goes off the air. So that was AEW Dynamite. I thought Dynamite overall, outside of maybe a few things I didn't really like on this show, like for example the MJF promos, mostly the Juice Robinson portion of that promo. I didn't really care about it. Things I did like about the show: Shida winning the championship back was pretty cool. I will find out what. Hopefully, we'll find out what's happening with Orange Cassidy, why he won the championship tonight. Edge did fine for his first AEW match. It's still very weird to see him not competing in a WWE ring, but I got to get used to that. Let's see what else happened on the show here. I mean, to me, that's about it. Minoru Suzuki and Eddie Kingston was pretty fine. The Shida gave Saray her best match in AEW. The match with Jay White and Hangman Page was all right. I enjoyed their matches in Ring of Honor more. In their New Japan match a little bit more than I did the AEW match, but that's just me. So there is that. NXT. NXT was a loaded show. My God. NXT was a loaded show, and it started off with the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, one half of the Undisputed Tag Team Champions. Cody asks the NXT Universe what they want to talk about. Says he'd be lying if he thought that he'd be standing here in an NXT ring. Says that something feels right about him given his family's long history with NXT. Says that he has a couple announcements. Says that everyone here is enjoying the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament. Says there will also be an NXT Men's Breakout Tournament, as well as the return of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. Then says that he has privilege to announce that he has been given the special permission to be tonight's special guest general manager of NXT, which that got a pop from the NXT crowd here. Which, by the way, I want to point this out here. NXT was like the people who went to the NXT show were camping out, maybe all night, maybe around like all night, maybe I guess. Last night, that's why I read somewhere. This was the most packed the Performance Center has ever been. Now, if I was a WWE and you do this type of stuff again, I'd actually try to sell out a building for this show. Because I feel like you could have put more people in that building, like maybe as much as they do for the takeover shows, or not the takeover shows, the pay-per-views they do now. So who knows? Ilja Dragunov's music hits. He makes his way down to the ring. Fans wishes him happy birthday because it's Ilja's birthday. Says that he couldn't pass up the opportunity to welcome Cody to NXT. Says that Cody's announcement brings back hope to NXT and breathes life into it, which I don't know how that makes any sense, but okay. Then adds that he simply wanted to beat Cody, and the man who brings passion, energy, and the will to suffer. He continues to speak highly of Cody. Then he says he apprises to whatever that means. He basically wants to rise to the next occasion here. Uprise to push NXT to the next level, I guess. Dominik Mysterio's music hits because it wasn't going to take them long to have Judgment Day come out here. He makes his way down the ring with Rhea Ripley. Dominik says the fans are here to see him tonight rather than see Rhodes. Dragunov tells Dragunov to ask Rhodes about the energy levels after Judgment Day laid him out. Dragunov tells Dominik that no one wants to talk to him. Says that he knows how this will turn out. He knows how to turn a barking dog into a sweet puppy as the result of his father working in a prison. Okay. Dominik dares Dragunov to put his NXT Championship on the line. He wants to be like Cody Rhodes. Cody intervenes and says that he clarifies that Dominik isn't willing to put the North American Championship on the line. Rhea says that he's been carrying WWE on his back, and just won the title. Dragunov reminds Dominik that today is his birthday, and Cody makes the NXT Championship match official with LA Knight serving as the special referee. So I thought the segment was as effective as needed to be. The whole major announcement thing wasn't that major, but it got people wanting to tune in to watch to see what happens with Cody Rhodes being on the show, because they announced like hours before the show that Cody Rhodes was going to kick off the show. So we all assumed like some type of big announcement's going to happen. But it wasn't that big of an announcement there. Next up, Asuka takes on Roxanne Perez. Shotzi was out on commentary. Do you join the commentary desk for this match here? Something I wasn't even aware of until Vic Joseph brought it up on commentary. Asuka has never been beaten, has never been pinned or submitted inside of an NXT ring. I didn't even think about that until he mentioned it. But I thought that was pretty cool here. And I'll explain that in just a little bit here. Bell rings. This match was not that. This match was fine for what it was. I wanted more out of this because I know how great Roxanne is and I know how amazing Asuka can be when she's on her A game. But they go back and forth in submission holds before Asuka is sent to the outside. Roxanne looks for a tope suicida. Asuka catches her with the right hand to the head, drops a missile or drop kick off the top rope. Roxanne fires back some right hands onto Asuka's spine, follows it up with a drop kick, lands a side Russian leg sweep, and a tope suicida before getting back Asuka into the ring, delivering an uppercut. Asuka clinches into Asuka lock, but Roxanne was able to escape. Asuka lands a spinning heel kick multiple times, hits another one, and gets the pin on Roxanne for the win here. This was, let me talk about Asuka in just a little bit here. After the match, Kiana James confronts Roxanne Perez, but Shotzi hops in the ring and lands a DDT on her before helping out Roxanne, raising her hand. So, well, one thing we did find out that when we get to the NXT special in a couple of weeks, Shotzi and Scarlett will be the hosts for that show, which is fine. But yeah, Asuka never losing in NXT. That I keep forgetting about that because she had to relinquish the NXT Championship because of injury. So realistically, until somebody's beating her for the championship, is there a real NXT Women's Champion? Who knows? Maybe Asuka comes down to NXT and challenges Becky Lynch for the NXT Championship. Who knows? We got Tyler Bate and the Brawling Brutes defeating Gallus in the Pub Rules match. This match is all right. Nice to see Pete Dunne on NXT again. Anytime I get to see Pete Dunne on NXT, it's a treat here. Near the end of the match, Tyler Bate breaks the fall that was happening there. Ridge Holland passes him through passes him a table from underneath the ring. Bate sets it up inside. Bate looks to send Mark Coffey crashing into it. Wolfgang levels him before he can rain down some right hands on Holland's spine, along with Mark Coffey. Holland then dumps him out of the ring, but gets leveled by high cross body at the hands of Joe Coffey. Pete Dunne then hits a enziguri onto Joe Coffey, but Joe runs him over lays him on the table, grabs a beer, but Tyler Bate knocks the bottle across his face. The Brutes and Tyler Bate delivers a triple powerbomb to Joe through the table, and Tyler Bate pins him for the win. This is fine. This is a lot of fun. I mean, anytime you have hardcore matches on the show, I'm okay with it. Actual hardcore matches that use weapons, not whatever the fuck the Brawling Brutes did with, who the fuck was it on SmackDown not that long ago? Was this the Street Profits? They call it the Terry Funk hardcore tribute match or whatever it was. So there's that. We see Tegan Nox backstage tells Laya Valkyrie that her match for the NXT Women's Championship against Becky Lynch will have to wait because she wants a rematch, given that she came up short in her match with Becky last night on Raw. My question is, why do you think you deserve another rematch for the championship when you lost? There's that Vince McMahon booking idea going into there. I hate that. I already hate it. Cena makes his way down the ring, and I still can't believe I'm saying John Cena is on NXT. Cena thanks to the fans for their warm reception as the fans were singing Cena's theme. Then talks about how big of a night it is, says that he is honored to be at NXT. as Cody Rhodes and as is Cody Rhodes and LA Knight. He thanks the fans for creating an environment in which main roster talent want to visit. When Carmello Hayes called him up, he couldn't say yes fast enough. He says Carmello Hayes shares a lot of the same qualities as he does. Bron Breakker's music hits. He appears on the ramp, tells Cena that tonight is the biggest night for NXT, but the fans didn't come to see him. We're talking about Cena. Breakker says they came to see Bron Breakker, and says that Hayes still has no chance of beating him with Cena as a corner. Cena tells Breakker that everyone knows that wrestling is in his blood and he's athletic. However, one thing that hinders him from hinder him is his attitude. Says that he's excited to watch Breakker and Hayes square off, then wishes Breakker the best of luck and offers his hand. Breakker blindsides him with a right hand on his head. Looks to hit him with a spear, but Cena avoids it, getting him on the shoulders. Or Bron Breakker skips before he can get hit with an attitude adjustment. So, again, great endorsement there by Cena, having him sharing the ring with Bron Breakker, or Bron Breakker sharing the ring with John Cena. So, great stuff there. Cody Rhodes runs into the family, Channing Stacks Lorenzo and Tony D'Angelo. Stack says that he and Tony D are looking for a new tag team challengers for the tag team titles. D'Angelo, Tony D suggests a 10 tag team battle royal for Halloween Havoc next week, or Halloween night next week, and the last two teams square off in a normal tag match. Cody makes that match official and calling it the Bada Bing, Bada Boom Battle Royal. Something tells me that's when we're going to see the return of the Authors of Pain. I think the Authors of Pain are going to get an NXT Championship match, and they're going to be the ones taking the title off the family. Just something tells me that's really going with that here. At one point in the show, let's see if I can find them talking about it here. No, they didn't. Okay, so at one point in the show, because this is not listed here, we see Paul Heyman talking to Ava Raine, the former Samoan Johnson, the daughter of The Rock. We don't know what that's about. Maybe she joins the bloodline. Who knows? That is very interesting. We're going to keep an eye on that on Friday and see where that's going to go there. Ilja Dragunov retains the NXT Championship against Dominik Mysterio with LA Knight as the referee. Joe Ripley's in the corner of Dominik Mysterio. Dragunov delivers a superplex to Dominik. Dominik rolls on the apron. Dragunov follows him there. And Dominik spikes him with a DDT, follows it up with a powerbomb to as Finn Balor and Jade McDonough appear, try to get involved here. Balor gets taken out by LA Knight. Dragunov sends Jade McDonough crashing into the middle turnbuckle here before LA Knight hit him with the BFT. Rhea looks to hit Dragunov with the Women's Championship, but Dragunov ducks out of the way. Trick Williams comes out of nowhere, pulls her off the ring apron, and kind of does all that stuff here. Opens the door for Dragunov to deliver the Tope Moscow for the win and steal your NXT champion, Ilja Dragunov. Good stuff there. Not the match was not good, but the stuff around it was pretty good, I thought. Baron Corbin makes his way down to the ring, captures Dragunov's attention. Dijak blindsides Dragunov behind, goes up the ramp and says, that NXT Championship is mine, and I'm getting it next. So, yes, please, run that back. Run Dijak and Dragunov back for the NXT Championship, please, because their match at the Great American Bash was chef's kiss. Was it the Great American Bash? What show that they did that on? Was it No Mercy, or was it Glory Back or Bash, or was it Stand and Deliver? Let me look here. Hang on a second. Let me do some searching here. Let me see. Was it the Great American Bash? I don't think it was the Great American Bash. It wasn't the Great American. What fucking show was it? It was Battleground. That was what it was. I cannot remember if it was Battleground or the Great American Bash. Anyways, it was some stuff. Chef's kiss. I'm good with that here. You see Jade Cargill pull up the performance there. She's greeted by John Cena, by Shawn Michaels. So you know, that all the stuff that happened there. I think that was the last we saw her throughout the night here. Baron Corbin runs into Cody Rhodes, tells him that he owes him. He says that he demands a match against Ilja Dragunov for the NXT Championship and at Halloween Havoc, and Cody says Dijak has already made a great case for why he should earn a shot at the title. He says that the winner of the match between Bron Breakker and Carmello Hayes would also a good case for a shot. A mixing number one contenders triple threat match between the winner of Breakker and Hayes versus Corbin and Dijak for next week. So that should be a lot of fun. Lola Vice defeated Danny Palmer in a first round match for the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament. Didn't really do much there. Lola Vice kicks out and lands a roundhouse kick on to Palmer for the win. Nothing too much there to talk about here. Chase U, one of my favorite segments of NXT. JC Jane crashes Andre Chase's class with via hail. Andre Chase going off cursing at people, which I thought was pretty funny here. They mentioned something about the tag team classic, I guess. But we'll see here on that stuff here. Then we get a video package for Bryan Pillman Jr., now known as Lexus King. Says that he doesn't want to be defined by his father, basically. He wants to be. He doesn't know his dead father or whatever it was here. Let me see if I can actually find the actual quote here, which I can't even. There you go. See if I can find. Well, he basically tweeted out here. It says, 26 years ago, my father was buried, and tonight I bury his name, or his last name. I will no longer be known as the lost son of the lost son living in his father's shadow. I will forge my own path, and stop at nothing until I am the king of NXT. So yeah, I like this. I like what we're doing here, and I think it's pretty good here. I mean, I am all for what they're doing with this here. Yeah, I'm all good for that. I enjoyed this video package here for Bryan Pillman Jr. or Alexis King, whatever you want to call him now. So yeah. Main event. I must call it main event. Uso. Paul Heyman introduces Bron Breakker. As we get our Carmello Hayes Bron Breakker main event here, just gonna go straight to the finish of the match here. Carmello Hayes and Bron Breakker teeter on the top rope before Breakker sends Hayes crashing into the mat. He sets Carmello up for the Hayes. Carmello up for the Hayes. Carmello up for the spear. Carmello sends him crashing into the ring post, shoulder first, ascends to the top rope. Breakker crashes and plants him. Breakker then at this point was trying to grab the steps here. Cena takes it from him. The referee is distracted here, and Cena, I guess, lands a stomp on the foot of Breakker here. So Sikoa appears, such brawling with Cena to the back here. On the outside, Carmello Hayes lands a code breaker, and Breakker then gets back into the ring here as Carmello then goes to the top rope and executes nothing but net for the win. And Carmello Hayes gets the win here, adding to the main event getting added to next week's triple threat match. After the match, Breakker spears Carmello Hayes, says there's only one badass in all WWE. And then the Undertaker's gong goes off. The Undertaker comes out to the ring on his motorcycle, gets on the microphone here, which is I still weird to see the Undertaker on NXT, but that's just awkward as hell. Grabs the microphone. Well, first of all, Breakker starts running down his mouth, says he's the only badass in NXT and in WWE here. Taker grabs the microphone from Breakker's hand, tells him that he's been watching him for a long time, says that Breakker will be a special talent one day, but today ain't that day. Undertaker lands a right hand on a very good right hand on the jaw of Bron Breakker, executes a choke slam, picks up the microphone and tells Breakker that there's always someone older, bigger, and badass waiting around the corner. Tells Breakker that he just met the baddest of them all. And then he helps up Carmello Hayes and celebrates with Carmello Hayes going off the air. So both shows I thought tonight were actually excellent shows. I loved both shows equally here, but I'm never doing this again. Like I said, I normally would go over NXT on the Pile Driver Pulse, which I will not be doing this week because I did cover NXT for the first time ever. Not for the first time ever. This is the first time since actually last October that I did this. So again, don't get too comfortable with it. You're gonna get your NXT recap on Sunday's podcast next week. But for tonight, it's just for the Wednesday to Tuesday night Dynamite War episode here. But because, like I said, none of this is going to matter next week, right? Like the words of war between AEW and WWE, mainly from Tony Khan, none of this is going to matter next week. Even if NXT loses in the ratings next week, or if AEW loses the ratings this week, it's not going to matter. So I tweeted out to, who was it? What did I say here? Let me see if I can find it here. I said, take it in. Well, first of all, I tweeted out this very simple thing here. I said, look, if you're one of those people that are gonna watch both shows just to hate watch AEW and NXT, then you can go fuck yourself. That's what I said there, which a lot of people seem to agree with that sentiment here, which good. And then I said, none of that will matter next week, right? Take it in and enjoy it while it's happening, and critique it later. If you hate both shows, cool. If you like both shows, cool. If you liked one over the other, cool. Tell us that later, okay? I don't give a shit about it. Like I said, I might like NXT more tonight. I might like AEW more tonight. I might like both shows. I don't know, because neither show had happened yet. And I said I'm going to try and enjoy both shows because I'm this thing called a wrestling fan. By the way, I'm not biased towards one wrestling company. Okay. Like there's things like if I see something like I watch both AEW and WWE, okay, and New Japan to an extent, and Stardom when I can, right? Because I go over Stardom stuff on the Sunday show. So, but if there's things on that show on them in the company, those companies that I just mentioned that I do not give a shit about, or not give a shit about, but rather don't care, like the booking decisions. Like, for example, Stardom had their show yesterday morning. There's a few decisions that I didn't particularly care about, like Momo Watanabe not winning the white belt like she should have, or I think that probably was the only like booking decision I had a problem with, So, Fastlane, the situation I had with that, Nakamura winning the championship when he probably should have at that point in time. Cody and Jey Uso winning the tag team titles still doesn't make a lot of sense to me. and see what else happened on the show that I had an issue with booking here. I think that's about it. Oh, and Charlotte being involved in the Asuka type situation there. Other than that, that's really all I can like. But other than that, I'll enjoy whatever show it is I'm watching, unless I fucking hated it. Like, in the end, I thought I thoroughly enjoyed both shows, and really that's what it's about in the end. All about enjoying yourself on Tuesday night watching pro wrestling, right? So, back to the Brian Pillman Jr. thing here. I said, when I was watching it, I said, I'm very happy that WWE gave a backstory to the new name for Brian Pillman Jr. and just didn't not change it for the sake of changing the name. They gave a reason for it, and I'm okay with that. So I think Cody Rhodes being the GM for one night against his former employer was actually super hilarious if I really think about it there. So, there's that. Other than that, like I said, I like tonight's show. I said, if NXT and AEW can keep me entertained tonight, like Triple H did last night with Raw, I'm a happy fucking camper at the end of the day. And guess what? I am a very fucking happy camper at the end of the day. So let me know what you guys thought about NXT and AEW Dynamite. I will see you guys back here, hopefully, for SmackDown. What am I doing tomorrow? Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll start working on my WAW 2K23 stuff here, because I got to do the other episodes of Rebellion, because I got to get ready for that show, big pay-per-view we got going on that thing for the Universe mode side of things. We got Anarchy Rules going up here with one match announced on that side of things. I'm going to give it away here. The first match that was announced on the first new episode of the Rebellion show that we do. Hangman Page and Kenny Omega will defend their titles against the Usos. Yes, I still have the Usos as a tag team here, because I have probably not going to use them as a singles talent. So, plus I need tag teams on there. We're working on women's and men's tournament to crown number one contenders for the WAW World Champion CM Punk and the women's champion Utami Hayashida. And we got some other ideas going on for it. I don't want to spoil for you guys here. So big thing is going to happen there. I've been Matt the Miss. This has been the Miss for Wrestling podcast. Please follow the social medias. They're all going to be in the links down below. Until then, I will see you back here for Friday Night SmackDown. Big night for Friday Night SmackDown, the season premiere. We're going to have the return of Roman Reigns for the first time since SummerSlam. Maybe he will actually defend the championship coming up. Who the fuck knows? And Triple H is going to be appearing on the show. And will probably announce War Games. So who knows? But until then, we'll see you for Friday Night SmackDown. I've been Matt the Misfit. This is Misfit Wrestling Podcast. We're out.